is considering applying to this call. And so you will, of course, also have access to this recording. We will be taking questions today from the chat. I will repeat it many times during the day, but already I can tell this to you. So in case you have questions, you will be able to use the chat. To some of the questions, we will reply directly during the sessions. If the questions are more concrete or more complex, we will pick them up and you will see the replies in the FAQ section of the funding and tendering portal. Okay. Good. 9:31, we have 200 people in the room and we have started to record. So let me just welcome you and we go ahead because we have a very packed agenda. So hello everyone once more. My name is Jakub Kajtman. I am a policy officer in DG Connect European Commission, and it's my pleasure today to host and moderate and coordinate today's meeting. We have several very knowledgeable speakers who will be able to talk about the topic that probably all of us are interested in now, which is the latest Digital Europe program call in advanced digital skills. To formally start, I think we just need to remind ourselves about the name of the call, because this is very important already for your application so that you target the right call. So when you look at the funding and tendering portal, you will find that this call is named Specialized Education Programs in Key Capacity Areas, which is a name that then you can understand by reading this little text. It's a long text for a slide, but actually let's read it together because this is what we will be talking about today. So what will this call do? This call and the proposals that will be accepted or selected will help the EU to boost its digital talent by supporting the development of bachelor's courses and master courses in digital domains, such as cybersecurity, Internet of Things, blockchain, artificial intelligence, and also multidisciplinary courses empowering professionals in non-ICT sectors with digital skills. I think all the words of this text are important. I tried to highlight some of them, but you should keep in mind this description whenever you start drafting or when you are drafting your call. We can go to the next slide. So your proposal. So what will you learn today? What will we be discussing? We will definitely talk about call objectives and about the scope of the call, who is eligible and how to apply. We will talk about the key dates and also formal conditions, so really who can and who cannot get the funding. We will spend some reasonable time with consortium requirements, because that's an important part of the call, that you need to form a consortia, and we will talk about that. We will talk about actions that are eligible for funding. This will help you to understand what you can fund with this call. We will, of course, talk about the budgeting and co-financing, because there is an important element of co-financing in this call, and we will help you to understand how that works and what are the options for you. We will take you through the funding and tendering portal, which we know is a very complicated IT tool, a very complicated website. So we really want to help you, guide you through this funding and tendering portal, so you find the information you need, you find the call text, and that you also know how to start your application. We have invited several speakers to talk about their experience with the Digital Europe program, because this is already a third call under the Digital Europe program in advanced digital skills, and we have some applicants that will share their experience. They will share also their tips and also recommendations from the successful project. And last but not least, we will give you tools and access to a group on the Digital Skills and Jobs platform, where you can find partners for your consortia. And we will also have more than 10, I think 11 pitching organizations, pitching companies that will share their idea for a project, that will share what they can contribute with to the consortia, and this will start your journey for looking for consortia. We can go to the next slide. So today's three main objectives. point you to all relevant documents and tools, answer your questions in the chat or live in the studio, and facilitate access to potential partners. We can go to the next slide. The agenda is packed, so we will start. We are starting with this short icebreaker and housekeeping information. Then we will go to my colleague Silvia MERISIO, who will talk about the scope of the call, objectives, and the consortia. We will then look at your questions for the first time. Then we will look at the necessary administrative steps that you need to take in order to apply to this call. We will look at this funding and tendering portal. Again, there will be an opportunity for you to ask the questions. Then we will talk about the experience, tips, and examples with some guest speakers. And at around 11 o'clock Brussels time, we will invite those organizations that applied to pitch today, to pitch their idea, to pitch their organizations. For the housekeeping, please write your questions in the chat. We have a full team that is looking at the chat, collecting these questions. Maybe to some questions we will reply already in the chat, but we will also pick up the most relevant questions live. And we are collecting all the questions. And after today's event, we will group them and we will answer to them at the funding and tendering portal in the FAQ section so that you have all your answers there. But if you already have your questions, you can start, you can post it, you can paste it in the chat. You can follow us on Twitter on Digital Skills EU, because that's where you will find all the relevant information about this call, but also about the Digital Skills and Jobs platform and other Commission's initiatives in digital skills. As I said, all the information is available on the Digital Skills and Jobs platform. The recording of today's event, very important, will be available on YouTube as of tomorrow or as of Monday on the Digital EU profile. And last but not least, and the QR code that you see will just take you there to the networking group for Partner for Digital Skills on the Digital Skills and Jobs platform, where you can find more potential applicants and more organizations that are interested in applying. But let's start with first looking at who is in the virtual room. So I invite you to look at the Mentimeter and to use the code 17813190, or you can scan the QR code and reply to two simple questions. The first one is, where are you joining from? And so we can go maybe to the, yes, okay, very good. So the first question, where are you joining us from? So you can type the name of your country or type the name of the city. Let's see whether we get some replies. I saw we were getting the replies for the second question, but okay. The second question is, which organization do you represent? And we clearly see the shaping here, the proportions, that universities and higher education institutions are very well represented today. That's a very good sign, because universities and higher education institutions play an important, a vital role in delivering the actions of this call. So happy to have over 70 already people representing universities in the room. We have training providers, also very important group of stakeholders here. Business industry definitely also have a role to play in these consortia. Excellence and research centers, not yet represented too much, but also very important. Network associations, digital innovation hubs and clusters, thank you very much for being with us as well. And we have also many other representatives. So I think this is a pretty good snapshot of whom we have in the room, and also for you to know whom you can network afterwards. Great, thanks also for sharing your names of the organizations in the chat. I see many universities, many industries, very good. Now, just two last slides from me to give a little bit of context. What we are facing in Europe is a huge digital skills gap that without action would be growing, because already now millions and millions of companies struggle to find digital skilled workers. And we are not only talking about specialists in cybersecurity or specialists in blockchain, but we are also talking about, let's say, more traditional occupations that don't have these necessary advanced digital skills. So on both levels, this is what we want to fix with the current call. And we have an objective to reach 20 million ICT specialists employed in the EU by 2030. And you saw in the previous chart, in the previous graph, that without action, we will miss 6 million of these specialists in 2030. And that is the reason why we are opening this call and why we want to fund these master programs and bachelor programs, so that Europeans have more opportunities to get trained, to get this necessary education and to this expertise that is so much needed on the job market. And at the same time, also organizations and companies have access to these experts and digital specialists or ICT specialists. The last slide just shows that this is not something, this is not an action that is kind of somewhere in the air. It's based and linked with other activities that the EU does. Of course, I mentioned already the target, which is part of the digital decade strategy. So all the actions that the Commission and the EU does in digital skills relate to this digital decade strategy. And by applying to this call, you will be directly contributing to reaching this digital decade strategy. So you are really applying to a European initiative, to European aim and objective. We want to foster excellence with this call. So we are really want to make sure that European universities and that Europe has this excellent top talent that is competitive on the global level. Of course, with this call, we also give you access to a community, because as I said, we have already had 2 rounds of calls under the Digital Euro program in advanced digital skills. And there are projects that are being funded. And with getting yourself into this group, you get to this community, you can exchange with these projects, you can network with them, you can collaborate. And of course, it also gives you visibility, because by funding these excellent projects that we aim for, we will be also promoting them, we will be talking about them, so you will really get visibility and awareness on the European level. So that is the context where we are today. We hope that this meeting, this info day, will be useful for you. And I will now pass the floor to my colleague Silvia MERISIO, who will start talking about the call objective, about the scope, and about who is eligible and what can be done with the funds. So Silvia, over to you. And I see my colleague Alessandra is already putting up the presentation.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much, Jakub. I'm very excited to see the chat is on fire. So let me dive in immediately in what is the core of this info day. I'm Silvia MERISIO. I work with Jakub in the team dealing with advanced digital skills in DG Connect, and I would like today to present to you to really dive in what is the third call of the Digital Euro program. We already had 2 calls. These are very new actions. This is a new program, new actions in this new program. I see Alessandra is having a bit of a trouble in sharing the slides, but this first slide is just to remind you of what we are now, where we are now, what has already been done. So you're not the first ones. We already had some pioneers master courses that have been awarded during the summer. So 9 new consortia for masters in key digital technologies are about to start. We will publish all the information as soon as all the grant agreements will be finalized. We'll have 12 consortia for short-term training courses and also 1 CSA. So this coordination and support action will try to brand and bring together all the organizations in all the consortia that we are financing under the advanced digital skills actions in the Digital Euro program. So these are very big consortia. In all the activities I just mentioned, more than 250 organizations are part of it. So this is what we aim. We aim at building this big network of excellent organizations working together and specializing on key digital technologies. So what we are talking about today is the digital specialized education programs. You will remember that we already had a similar call published last year, more or less at the same time. This time we expanded the scope of the action. So last time it was only master. This time funding is available for both bachelor and master programs. The scope remained the same: key digital areas, multidisciplinary courses, and conversion courses. So the novelty is about bachelors, masters have remained, and then key digital areas, multidisciplinary courses, and conversion courses. The budget is 56 million, 10 million per project. The duration is 4 years, and EU co-financing is standard for the whole digital program with a 50% co-financing, but in-kind contribution are accepted. We will see more about this later. All applicants can choose, all the consortia can choose whether they want to deliver one or more program. They can be both bachelor, they can be masters, and they can be of different types, meaning it can be one in key digital areas, and it can be one multidisciplinary courses or a conversion courses. This is really up to you. What do you want to deal with? This time we tried to make a list of what are the priority areas for type 1 programs, meaning the key technologies that we see are suffering from a lack of experts. So we have the usual suspects: artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud computing, cybersecurity, data, extended reality, Internet of Things, microelectronics, photonics, quantum, and robotics. Here you will see there is a link between the strategies that are also published at EU level and the areas in which the EU is investing massively in infrastructure. The idea behind the whole pillar of advanced digital skills in the Digital Euro program is that we will not be able to reap the full potential of digital technologies if we don't have enough people trained to develop, design, and use them. Of course, in the economy. This is the reason why we wanted to finance also multidisciplinary courses. We believe that, and we have seen that the economy is asking for more and more professionals that are equipped with the digital skills necessary to deploy these technologies in sectors which are not properly ICT sectors. So these are professionals that have a technical background in one of these sectors, but they also know how to reap the potential of these technologies and apply it to one of these sectors. So the list that you see here is not an exhaustive list. I think we already have published FAQ on the funding attendant portal, where we say that other sectors are accepted, provided that, of course, the proposal explain what is the labor market need that the course and the education program is addressing. So these: agriculture, energy, finance, health, law, media and culture, manufacturing, sustainable and autonomous mobility, and space. So these are the sectors that are that you will find in the call text, but also other sectors can be accepted. Then let me go back to the partners. So who are the beneficiaries of this call? Who are the subjects that we would like to work together and propose, design, and deliver these bachelor and master courses? So as for the previous call, we will ask higher education institutions from 3 different member states to be in the consortium, together with 2 SMEs and 1 excellence center. So 3 higher education institutions, 2 SMEs, 1 excellence center from 3 different countries. All the partners that you see there, training organizations, Erasmus University Alliance, already they are in a privileged position to apply because they already have a consortium of higher education institutions from different member states, other business partners, and of course, digital innovation hubs that are being financed now. You will find all these details, of course, in the call text. We have tried to align the call text to what is the structure of the call proposal that you will have to draft. So everything that you see here, this slide will go in the relevance criteria, and this is what we ask to all proposers. So every proposal should fulfill at least objective 1, which is addressing digital skills needs. This is what I've been mentioning so far. We need more and high quality courses, high quality education programs either in key technology areas or in multidisciplinary areas. And then at least one or more of the other objectives. Here you see what are the other objectives. So you will find in the call text 4 objectives described. I will go through them in a minute. So addressing digital skills needs is a must-do, plus one or more among attracting qualified and teaching staff and students, upgrading digital solution, equipment, and infrastructure, establishing structural sustainable partnerships. So if we go to the next slide, we see what is asked for addressing digital skills need. I've already mentioned it. The main objective of the call is to design and deliver bachelor's or master programs and develop related self-standing modules. So both of them are required. The degree can be joint, double, or single. This is once again up to the consortium to decide. In the application, we ask the consortium to broadly describe what will be the structure of the curriculum. So what are the skills and the competencies that will be acquired by the students enrolled, and in particular, what are the digital skills that will be acquired by the student. We don't want a precise description. We know that the accreditation process takes time, but we would like to understand what will be actually taught in these courses. Then the objective 2 concerns teaching staff and students. So the idea here is that to be able to teach these courses, making a use, attracting the best teaching staff, not only the teaching staff, but as we are talking about programming key digital technologies, also we hear a lot from universities that it's sometimes a bit difficult to attract laboratory staff, technicians, people that are able to teach the student how to use these technologies. So with this project, funding can be available to fund lectures and seminars by qualified experts, incentive for teaching staff, researchers, laboratory technicians, actions to encourage mobility among the people that work in the partners of the consortium. At the same time, we want these courses to be accessible to everyone and being attractive to everyone. So we ask, of course, this is, as I said, this is an ambitious project. We ask at least 115 students to be trained across the consortium. They can be people trained with the full program, but also with the self-standing modules leading to a certification. Financial support is available to support the participation of these people, and the total cost can go up to 20% of the total grant, so it's a pretty important amount. And incentive can be done for student mobility, but this needs to be done in synergy with Erasmus, which is the primary instrument for this. If we go to the third objective, here again, we believe that a course in digital technologies needs also to be delivered in an innovative way. So we need to make use first of these technologies that we are trying to teach the students to learn. So funding will also be available for upgrading digital solution, purchasing equipment, leasing equipment, and all this infrastructure, if you want, and all these digital tools need to be used for the teaching of the courses and to facilitate students' learning activities. Of course, we ask in the proposal to explain how the project will explore the use of innovative tools and support the implementation of the education program. Then if we go to the fourth one, this is how the partnership will be established. We ask you to describe how this will make it sustainable over time, how the relationship will continue, define the roles and the added value of all the partnerships, and encourage, to extend the partnership also in those countries where for example, the Digital Economic and Society Index tells us that the levels of advanced digital skills are lower. So I'm approaching the end of this first introduction to the call. The link with the Digital Skills and Jobs platform is very important. We would like to use this platform as a tool for networking and showcasing all these innovative courses, also in order to promote them and make them more attractive to the people in EU. So here you have what the platform can do, and we encourage all the proposals to include elements of dissemination and how these courses can be promoted through the platform. And I stop here for the moment.
Silvia, thank you very much. And we are receiving so many questions and so many comments in the chat. So very nice to see that participants are actually interested and are asking very relevant questions on how to draft and what to include in their proposals and how to prepare them. But before that, we have already had few questions that we have collected beforehand, and I would like to start with these, and I would like to ask them to you first. So the first one, which is very interesting and relevant for let's say funding eligibility or cost eligibility, is what does it mean that in-kind contribution are accepted as part of the co-financing? So what is it concretely? If you can describe this in-kind contribution, please.
Yes, this is a question that we receive pretty often. Thank you for asking it. The idea, so we are aware of the fact that 50% of co-financing can be pretty hard, but one way to make it easier is if you go to, I think we have a slide on this. So
yeah, we have a slide. Yeah.
If the idea is a beneficiary can bring in as a part of the co-financing, matching the EU contribution, personal costs or infrastructure costs. So this means that it doesn't need to be one-to-one, but it can be, of course, it needs to be one-to-one. So the matching part can be covered by the personal costs or other costs in order to match the 50% of the EU contribution. So I think this could facilitate the life of applicants.
Thank you, Silvia. There is one question that is very relevant for many participants here, because many of them are representing universities and they are probably aware of funding opportunities under Erasmus Plus program. But can you tell a little bit what are the differences? What can be funded by digital? What can be funded by Erasmus Plus University Alliance? You have some examples, so if you can show them, please.
Yes. So the idea is that these two applications, despite I'm aware it can be a bit burdensome to prepare two applications at the same time, they can be totally complementary and exploit synergies. So what the digital can fund, you'll see here the different type of approach. We start from digital seeing that we have a market failure, if you want. We have seen that third countries offer much more courses in digital technologies, and they offer it in a wide range of technologies. So we ask for a very precise product to be delivered with the digital funding. So, and there are some elements of the building of the course. Of course, digital can fund the design of joint curricula, the preparation of the degrees, the networking between the universities, but it can also fund everything that I mentioned under Objective 2 and 3, which is buy technical equipment for labs that can be used as part of the curricula. This is particularly relevant if we consider the subjects of the courses. Develop interoperable IT systems to facilitate the life of students. So having automatic recognitions of ECTS, provide allowances for private sector professionals who are maybe part of the consortium to come and teach, and top up salaries of teaching experts. We know that in these disciplines, the competition with the private sector is very high, so it might be difficult to retain talents in academia. So this could be used as an incentive. In the Erasmus alliances, the approach is really bottom up. We ask universities to come up with the development and implementation of integrated long-term joint strategy. The idea is really to have seamless campuses built on shared pool of resources, establish European higher education campuses. The mobility element is crucial here. And of course, build European knowledge created teams, challenge-based approach. The main rules, as for all EU funding, is no double funding can be accepted.
Thank you, Silvia. One more question about the Erasmus University Alliances, actually. Can they participate, and how can they participate if yes?
Yes, of course they can participate. It's up to them to decide how they prefer to participate. They can participate together with the same higher education institutions that are part of the alliance. In case this alliance has already been awarded in the 2020 or 21 call, they can decide to add partners, higher education institutions, or they can decide to join other consortia. Of course, the rules of the consortium compositions, which are explained in the call text, they need to be respected. We need a consortium of at least 6 organizations, including 2 SMEs and 1 excellence center.
I think many participants here are also wondering on how to structure the budget and how to put all of the different pieces together, especially, you know, when you bring in different consortium partners. So maybe if you can have one last slide on the budget structure and how to do it, I think that would be very helpful.
Yes, I think this would be useful to understand the different types of costs that can be reimbursed with this call. So there are a number of different, if we can go to the next slide, please. There are a number of different types of costs. There can be personal costs, as I said before, to attract teaching staff or laboratory staff. It can be, we go to the next slide? It would be much easier to have it under our eyes. Doesn't seem
Alessandra, if it works.
Okay, but we will circulate the slide anyway, and you will find everything once again in the call text, or everything that we are saying today is mentioned in the call text and even explained more in detail. So you see there are different categories of costs that are eligible under this call: personal costs, subcontracting costs, purchase costs, and other cost categories. This is what you will see when you will draw up the budget of the proposals. But I have also colleagues from the agency which are coming up after me, and they are even more knowledgeable on this topic.
Very good, Silvia. Thank you. We have also collected some questions from the chat, so I suggest that we have a look at them. Now I will share my screen, so I hope that it will not crash. Here we go. So that we can all see the questions as well. I don't know whether you can see now the question or not, but the first question that we collected from the chat was whether these funds are available for short courses MQF 124 as well. So
the main product we ask to deliver is always 1 bachelor or 1 master. The short courses can be part of the proposal, but they cannot be there alone. So if it's only this will not be eligible.
Okay, thank you. Second question: when the program should start of the signature of the grant agreement? So is it is the signature of the grant agreement the moment when the program should start?
No, we understand that the accreditation processes that they can take very long, and they differ according to the different member states. So the project duration is 4 years, and we allow up to 2 years for the program preparation, designing, accreditations, and all the procedures that are necessary. And we ask at least to deliver it for 2 intakes, so 2 cycles. The programs need to be delivered in order to allow the consortium and all the partners to be able to deliver the degree.
Thank you, Silvia. Now, a little bit longer question. What do you mean by the degree? Has it to be a joint degree across all partners? Or can each partner offer a different education program with synergy across the partners?
So the basic idea behind this call is really to expand the offer of digital education training and courses. So we don't impose the definition of joint degrees, but we would like these courses to be anyway designed together in order for all the higher education institutions to benefit from the exchanges between the different partners. So it can be single degrees. So each university can deliver 1 single degree, but it needs to be explained how this degree is benefiting from the participation in this consortium.
Clear. The consortium are key to this. One more question, or 2, 3 maybe. Would professorships be considered for funding?
So this is once again differing from what I know from the different rules in the member states. As part of the call, they are eligible, but this really needs to be in line with the national financing rules and with the general program financing rules.
Okay, thank you very much. And I think the last question from the chat that we have time to still answer: is each university in the consortium to be from a different country?
They don't need to be necessarily from different countries, but the minimum requirement need to be respected. So at least 3 member states need to be represented in the consortium.
Okay, Silvia, thank you very much. I'm stopping sharing now my presentation, but I also saw many more questions in the chat, and we will reply to them. We will share answers on the funding and tendering portal in the FAQs, or for some questions we are replying also in the chat. Thank you very much for using the chat, also because I saw many of you kind of pitched the willingness to form a consortia, to join some partnership, to form a partnership. That's exactly why we are doing this event also today. And if you want, you can also join the Partner for Digital Skills networking group on the Digital Skills and Jobs platform, where you will be able to browse through the members of that group, form partnerships and network also there. But please feel free to also use the chat today. We are still collecting the questions, and just a reminder that also the presentations and the recording will be available just after today's event. The presentations probably still today on the Digital Skills and Jobs platform, and my colleagues will paste the link to the right place in the chat, and the recording probably tomorrow or on Monday on the Digital EU YouTube channel. And we now go to a let's say practical look at the funding and tendering portal, and practical look at the application process. And that's where I invite my colleague Basak KOYUNCU KING, who is working in the HaDEA, which is the agency that is coordinating this call. And Basak, we look very much forward to hearing your tips and hearing your, let's say, guide through the application process. So the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jakub. Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy that we reached out to so many of you from so many different countries. It's indeed touching. Welcome you all. And we will start our presentation. As Jakub rightly pointed out, the presentation is very much administrative in nature. I will try to take you through how to submit a proposal, your proposal, via funding and tenders portal. So can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. General overview of the call, and then next one, please. So indeed, as again Jakub pointed out, it's extremely important to remember the name of the call and the topic, because that will be essential for you to submit a successful proposal. And we are looking at the DEP3 call, and under this we are looking at the Digital 2022 Skills 03. And the topic name is Specialized Education Programs in Key Capacity Areas. The available budget is 56 million euro, as Silvia pointed out. Call has been open since 29 September, and the deadline for submission is 24th of January. And then you see on the timetable the rest of the indicative dates for evaluation, which will be between February and March this year, and then evaluation of results will be in May. So next slide, please. This is our timetable. Next slide, please. Where will you find your call? So we invite you to go to the funding and tenders portal. Apologies if this is a repetition for some of you, but as some of you are new to the process, we would like to emphasize that the link is provided on that slide. And on that, when you reach to the funding and tenders portal, you are looking at the Digital Europe program. And once you click on this, next slide, please, you are going to go to, on the left side, you will see grants. You will tick the grants box, and there you will go for open for submission. And on the open for submission, you will get a list of the open calls, and you will find your call specialized education programs in that list. So and when you click on this, you will go to your topic page. You are getting closer to the submission now. And here you will see the general information about the call. This is the page. And then you go to topic conditions. So you scroll down the page, and then you will come to a heading, which is the topic conditions and documents, where you will reach to your call documents. I know this is a bit hidden, but this is the first challenge. However, we try to make it as accessible and as visible as possible. Then here you are finding the call document, and then you are ready to go and read the details that Silvia tried to present in her presentation. So next slide, please. Okay, then from now on, we will start slowly to submit. How do we submit? Now, in the tenders portal, again on the same page, if you scroll down, you start submission process. So you confirm, you start the submission process. Next one, please. And then you will asked to submit, to create a proposal and to start submitting the applicants. And here you need a PIC number. And what does PIC number mean? Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so the PIC number means that you either have been beforehand registered to the participant portal and you have an identification number where you can search your registered organization, or you are a new organization to EU funding, then you have to complete your registration first in order to be able to get that PIC number. Next slide, please. And in order to get PIC number, you need to go through the self-registrant process. You need to have, of course, a valid email address. You may be given a temporary PIC and you can start with that, but you need to then change that to the actual PIC number. You need to ensure that your LIR and your bank address, your address and bank details are up to date and they are all submitted and validated. This is very important, and that can be only done through participant register. And without that information, it's not possible to apply, but also later on, if your application is successful, then you will not be able to proceed with the grant agreement preparation very quickly. So it's very important that you complete that process. And next slide, please. And once you have that, you start putting the organization's name, and then you will be taken to part A and part B, which I will explain to you in detail. So part A is the more structured administrative part of the application, and part B is the more technical part, but we will go ahead and see this in details. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so under part A, the administrative part of the application, you will have the general information, and then you need to fill in, and then you will have to, either you will be given or you will be asked to fill in, and then you have the participants, and then you will have the budget section, and then you will have the annexes. So, what is important here is that in order to fill in that part and in order to be eligible, the participants section need to follow the consortium composition formulation very well. So please read that very carefully, and also read the definition of, this is an important tip, what an associated partner vis-a-vis a partnership is. Because in order to comply with the consortium composition, you need to indeed have partners. So just be very careful that associate partners may not allow you to fulfill the consortium composition as requested by the call. And then you will go to the budget section, and please be reminded that financial support to third parties is included in this call, so you need to complete this column. Again, a tip here that's important, within the headings that given by Silvia, which is in your call document, please complete this section, this budget section very carefully, and remember that the requested EU EU funding cannot be changed later on if you make any mistake in that budget table. So you will be stuck with that amount. So please be very careful about that. And then in this call, there is security form to be filled in, and there's a compulsory document. And now compared to the first call, it's changed. It's under part A. So you need to watch out for that. So part B of the application is indeed the part that we deal with consent. So in the call document, you are going to see in the generic part, you are going to see 3 set criteria that is applicable for all debt calls, which is relevance, implementation, and impact. What is key to remember here is that this call document is trying to change the game a little bit. We try to make the game a bit easier for you. So for the first time, we incorporated into the call document what actually we expect from the relevance criteria. So this way, what you see is the set criteria, but if you go to the objective or the scope of the call document, you will see that each of these criteria is very detailedly explained for you. So what you need to do is you respond according to the objectives or objective that you choose, and try to go underneath each criteria and see what is asked of you and try to incorporate that in your application fully. That will give you a very successful proposal at the end. We very much hope so. And just a reminder, there are a couple of set criteria here, which is the standard part of the debt program, like digital technology supply chain, financial obstacles, or Green Deal goals. These are not applicable for this call. This call is a simple grant, which means that you are limited with 70 pages. So please respect to that, because if you pass that, in the system, we will see these pages blank and we will not see your contributions. So that's it on the part B part. Please, we can go to the next slide. Again, we are referring to the criteria here. I'm reminding you that in this call document, it's slightly different, and you need to go and see the descriptions and please provide your contributions on that basis. And next slide, please. Okay, so the maximum per proposal is 15 points, and we wish that all of you will get that. We will be so happy. And minimum threshold per individual criterion, meaning that for relevance, implementation, and impact, you need to get minimum 3 out of 5. Proposals that pass the individual award criteria and threshold is indeed minimum 3 scores per criteria, but overall it has to be above. It has to be the threshold of 10 and above. Proposals that do not achieve this threshold overall or per criteria will be rejected. Will not go to the next stage. Yes, please. Next one. Okay, so just to remind you, mandatory annexes for this topic is security, which is embedded in part A, and then list of previous projects, which will be added as a separate document that you will prepare on the list, under the list of previous projects under the part B application. And then, of course, part B has to be uploaded. And the other 2 are not applicable. You see on the slide that there are other 2 which are with red arrow. They are not applicable for your call, indeed. And now we can go to the next slide. Okay, so once you prepare all, part A prepared, with budget table, with consortium composition carefully checked, you are ready on that. You have your PIC numbers, you inserted everything. You go to part B, you did the technical part uploading. And please be careful while you are converting your part B to PDF. There may be formatting issues. We are not allowed to come back to you for even if there are formatting issues now. Just please double check what you are uploading, if it's in a good format, if it's readable. If it's not, you will be eliminated. And then list of previous projects are uploaded. Then please just press the validate button to see whether you get any warnings and how you should address these warnings. And then next, please. And then you submit your proposal. If you want to come back to us with frequently asked questions, on the funding tenders portal, you have a link here. You can go and submit a question there. For the content, next slide, please. And when you go there, you will get the form and you fill in the form and that will be directed to us. And next slide, please. And then if you need further support on the application or manuals or guidelines, all you can find on the funding and tenders portal under the support tab. I think that's it from us. And one thing, there are a couple of tips that we have that I gathered from others. I would like to mention that very quickly. Please make sure that the added value of the master programs is clearly explained in your proposal. And there are FAQs already published. Please look at those. And I would very much recommend you to look at the annotated model grant agreement for the preparation of your budget. So that will be it from our side for now. Thank you very much.
Basak, thank you very much. This was really very informative, and I think everyone is now much more comfortable and much more empowered to go to the funding and tendering portal, which we admit is not, you know, an easy website. But now with this tutorial, and you will be able to play this tutorial afterwards because we will publish the recording on YouTube, so you will be able to play it as many times as you wish, and of course also send questions. But with this tutorial, I think it will be much easier for you to do that. The key, I think, message here is start as soon as possible looking at these things. Start looking at the funding and tendering portal. I have shared the link to the funding and tendering portal in the chat, and I have also shared the link to the actual call text, so you can see both immediately just clicking on them. Basak, we have collected.
Jakob, you are muted. Sorry.
Sorry, somehow clicked. Yeah. Thanks, Basak, very much for this presentation. I would also invite Silvia to join us because we have also some questions that relate a little bit to her presentation. So what I will do, I will kind of read the questions, and I suggest that you decide between yourselves who will then reply to them. Yeah. There were many questions, and our team is following the chat very closely, replying to some questions. We are picking those that are relevant for more people, and one of the most relevant questions that we have seen in the chat so far was, what are the eligible countries? So can you please explain, if I'm based in Germany, I can probably apply. If I'm based in Norway, if I'm based in Switzerland, if I'm based in Algeria or Japan, what is the situation here?
Okay, so the world is big, and that's a very, very comprehensive list. But what we can say is that obviously EU countries are eligible, member states, and also that program have associate countries. And these associate countries are the countries that have applied to become the part of the DEP program. For some of them, the process has been completed. For some of them, it's still ongoing. So I suggest to publish a FAQ on that and provide that list, the link of the associate countries, because I think that's one of the most interested maybe countries that's not clear to people yet, to applicants. So the status will be very clear there. We know that now among these countries, we currently know that Ukraine has completed the requirements. But the rest of the list of the countries and their status need to be followed from that link. I can also provide the link via chat to you now, Jakob, if you want, but I will be more, I think it will be more transparent if we indeed publish this as an FAQ and provide the full information.
Okay, but the message here is EU member states, yes, all of them, And there are some other countries that might be
EAA
that will
country
be on
are
the list.
also eligible.
Yes,
Norway
EAA
is there,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah. I saw in the chat that someone asked about Turkey, Algeria, and Japan. So I don't know. We will link to this.
Let's put it like that. First of all, I'm not talking about Turkey now. Turkey is separate, but all third countries, of course, may participate, but they cannot receive funding. So that's one thing to remember. So please read the rules around that very carefully.
Yeah.
But Turkey is one of the applicant countries today. However, it's a country that's still in the negotiation, and they need to follow their status, please, for that.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Just a follow-up question. I just see it now from Claudia on the chat. When it comes to countries, also, what about students? Can students be from third countries if they are studying in the EU, for instance, or in an eligible country?
I can take this one. The admission of students, it's totally up to the consortium. What we ask is that the financial support is provided to EU students. So universities can decide the criteria for admission and registration to the program, but the EU support, the EU funding should be devoted to the support of EU students.
Thanks, Silvia. Clear. I also saw a message from Yuri on the Ukraine. So just to repeat that, indeed, Ukraine is eligible. Basak just confirmed that. Another question that repeats very often in the chat is about consortium composition and whether the consortium can be from one single country. So can you please take that question?
Thank you. No, the consortium cannot be from one single country. This is a European funding, so it needs to have a European dimension, as I said, and as described in the call text, section 6, consortium composition, we need to have at least representatives from at least 3 different EU member states.
Okay.
Could I please follow on that? This is an extremely important part. Please, we urge you to pay utmost attention to the consortium composition. It doesn't matter how good your proposal is. If you do not fulfill consortium composition, you are not going to even pass the eligibility stage. We will not be able to even look into your proposal. So please read that very carefully and understand what is a beneficiary, what is a partner, what is an associated partner, and fulfill these requirements. Associated partner and affiliated entities are not beneficiaries. So please work on that basis. Thank you.
Thank you. And maybe for those of us who joined a little bit later, Silvia, you had a slide on the consortium composition, like what are the minimum requirements? Can you just repeat it without a slide? But I know that you know it by heart.
Yes, so we need to have at least 3 higher education institutions, 2 SMEs, small and medium enterprises, you will find the definition also in the call text, and 1 excellence centers or competence center, which is an expert in the topic addressed by the call. All these are at least 6 organizations from at least 3 different member states.
Thank you very much. Let's move to another question. Can existing master's programs be funded?
Thank you, Jakub. This is also a question we get a lot. We understand there is already expertise on the ground. There are already universities providing similar courses compared to what we are asking. So we don't want to exclude these universities to participate. We don't want their expertise to be wasted. But what we ask them is really to explain very well how also these existing masters can be improved, can be enlarged as a scope, as a number of students. They will be translated in other languages, and they will be how they will benefit from the participation of these courses in the consortia, and how the students can have access to a larger range of opportunities or improved training facilities. So the added value of the participation of the university with a similar master's really need to be clearly explained in the proposal.
Very good, Silvia. Thank you very much. We go to a more detailed question that we collected from the chat. It can take more than 2 years for accreditation, and then it cannot be possible to have time to develop the courses in the program. If the program should run for 2 years. Can we make a digital focus study line under an existing master's program? Would that be eligible? Sorry.
Thank you. This is a bit linked to what I just said. So again, this is in principle eligible. Be careful that, of course, we ask for all the partners of the consortium to be involved in the delivery, not only in the design, but also in the delivery of the bachelor or master programs. So in principle, this is a yes, but as always, it needs to be explained how this new digital focus study line has benefited from the participation in the consortium, and how the students will then have access to an improved offer to compare to what the universities was offering the previous year, and without the support of the project.
Very good. Thank you, Silvia. We go to the next one. Is it possible to create a new education offer by introducing a new collaboration between existing master programs of different universities?
Yes, I see we are on a trend here.
Yeah.
Here again, I would say yes, but again, the added value need to be explained.
Very good, thank you. Let's go to the next one. How many students should be trained in total? And we have touched upon it, but I think we need to just repeat. So how many students should be trained in total, and are only EU students considered?
So we asked for a minimum of 150 students per year across the consortium composition. So counting all the students enrolled in the different universities, and this can also take into account students that receive a certification after attending a standalone module or a short-term course developed in parallel to the main bachelor or master programs delivered.
Okay, thank you very much. Will course payment by, for example, industry staff be eligible as co-funding?
My first reaction would be yes, but I want Basak to confirm.
Basak, sorry.
Yes, I'm just checking the
Yes.
the question.
Yeah.
Now, as far as we can understand from the when we put the co-funding related questions also as FAQs, we know that the definition or the sources is very broad, so it can be quite many different sources, and there is actually co-funding related FAQs, co-funding questions related FAQs in the FAQs. Please check that. I think that that fits into that answer. By that answer, we cover this. But however, we need to take this as an FAQ again, and I will look into the detailed instructions on that, and I will publish that as an FAQ. Okay, please follow very specific answer on that later on published.
Basak, thank you very much. We are receiving really many questions, but we will need to move ahead. But maybe I will just take from what we have collected just 2 more. So the first one is the list of previous projects per participant, or do you expect that consortia have common previous projects?
No, I mean, consortia may be coming for the first time together. It will be enough to show relevant projects from different partners, individual partners.
Okay, thank you. And probably the last question in this round, let me just copy paste it so that we all can see it. Do we have 25% overheads in proposals?
I will take that as also I will publish this as an FAQ as well.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Thank you all for all these questions. I'm checking still with my colleagues because yeah, I think there's one more question which is very relevant that is appearing on the chat, and this comes to co-funding with other EU programs. So Silvia, Basak, could you a little bit develop on is this possible? How can this be done? Which programs can be eventually used? The question is, can I co-fund the 50% from another EU program?
Well, this is also quite an area that requires quite a lengthy answer. And that's why I would like to answer this in writing. Indeed, this goes into the synergy areas, and synergies have very specific rules. But I would like to get back to that in writing, please. The answers will come very, very quickly, so you won't need to wait very long.
All right, Basak, Silvia, thank you very, very much. And just for everyone to know what it means that we will come back into this in writing. So the process will be that we are now collecting all the questions, and you are sending really dozens, maybe hundreds of questions. What we will do with them, that we will look at each of them carefully, eventually group those that overlap and that are asking the same question. And once we have a clean list, we will start drafting answers to these questions. And once we draft the answers and once we prepare them for publication, we publish them in the FAQ section on the funding and tendering portal. And maybe colleagues from the team who are with us today can paste the link already to the FAQ section of the funding and tendering portal of this call. That's where you will find all the answers to the questions that you have asked today. Of course, this will not probably happen overnight, so it will take some time, and I think we will be doing it in batches or in waves. So you can expect that the first way, there are already some questions in the FAQ portal or in the FAQ section now, and during the next days, maximum few weeks, we will publish the replies and answers to all your questions that you have pasted today. So the best is to from time to time check the funding and tendering portal. Anyway, we very much recommend to go there and get familiar with it, because if you would be applying, that's the place to go. We will also be announcing this on our Twitter account. So our Twitter is @DigitalSkillsEU, or you can sign up on the Digital Skills and Jobs platform, and there we will be also telling, especially to the Partner for Digital Skills networking group, when we publish the questions. But the questions, of course, will be published for everyone. So anyone who comes to the funding and tendering portal and to the dedicated section will see the answers and will be able to act based on that knowledge. So I hope everything is clear in that sense. And okay, thank you, Arthur, already pasted the link to the FAQ section. Basak, you want to add something?
Yeah, because I forgot to mention something. It's again from lessons learned. Please, I mean, ideally not, but if you are applying with a similar or same proposal to any other program, please make this clear on the application form. There is a question related to that. Take these questions, please, seriously, and reply and give the appropriate answers, because if later on there is a clash, which we will find out, then we will be able to support you better. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Basak. And let me take this opportunity for picking up one last question from the chat for this moment, and maybe for Silvia, this one. Will there be other calls in 2023 and 2024?
We are in the process of drafting the work program 2023 and 2024. This will be soon shared with the member states. So, of course, the program runs for 7 years. There will be other calls. We cannot tell you what type of calls will be yet. So, make all your efforts to apply to this call. I think it will be safer.
I think we have mentioned it very briefly, but we might remind that the deadline for this call is 24th of January 2023. So it seems that there is still some time, but really start working on it now, especially forming the consortium. And we will hear now from actually successful Digital Europe program already funded projects, or just the projects that are just starting, on what they did in order to apply and what were the key to success. So we will have 2 presentations from one from Estonia, another one from south of France. And I'm happy to invite now Professor Dr. Sadok Ben Yaha from the Tallinn University of Technology. Sadok, I hope you are with us. And you have all the right to switch on your microphone and camera. If not, then colleagues will quickly give you the rights. And now I already see you. Very good. So Sadok, thank you for joining us, and looking forward to hearing your experience from the application. Just to say that you applied last year for the first call, if I'm not mistaken, and that's the call where you were successful, and you are basically starting now your project. So Sadok, the floor is yours, and I think many of the participants will appreciate your experience.
Thank you very much. Do you hear me? Thank you very much, Jacob,
Yes.
and all of your team that you are coordinating for the inviting me for this call, for this day, for pitching day, and I would be really pleased to provide you useful insights today. I would be pleased to answer all of the emails, the questions that would be addressed to me later. So let me quickly, please, next slide. I don't since yes. So our proposal was nicknamed, or the acronym, Digital for Business. It was the European Online Masters Program focused on the practical application of advanced digital skills within European SMEs and companies. So the advice that I would give to all of potential colleagues that would submit or think to have a consortium is so that to think at the long run, what would be your position at the European level with this program, with this consortium? It means that you will create kind of a hub at the long run, that you will be the leaders on the European level for upskilling all the colleagues, all the part that would, or the needs, that to answer all the needs of this European SMEs and companies. So back to our Digital for Business consortium. So we had a grant of 9.6 million for the 48-month duration, and we were 18 partners, kind of large consortium with we were 7 higher education institutions, 1 research center which is mandatory, 5 training and deployments, and 5 industrial partners. And the focus was on advanced digital skills for business leaders and professionals. And the focus of the design of work would be at the crossroads of AI, cybersecurity, cloud, and data. It means all that kind of skills they are badly missing at the labor market, and we are really proud to provide the right answer for these companies and things. And we kept in mind that this curriculum should be kind of entirely market-led and industry focused. That's why we are paying a lot of attention on the accreditation and certification aspect, which is kind of easy, can make finding or upskilling or changing the positions in the European level much easier. So we also worked on the academic accreditation and industry certification, and this micro credential is a very important part. Later we'll think about when you have to gather the revenue. So it means that it is on purpose, I would say, that this fund is co-funded with the European Union, European Commission, that since you need to start from now, think how you make your dream, your journey more sustainable after the end of the funding after 4 years. So we plan to have online masters. So the challenge, yes, it's okay. The online masters program with physical workshop and networking events. So next slide, please. So the challenge that we face it, and hopefully that will really be eye-opener for you. So the first challenge that it is 50% EU grant and 50% co-financing, which is, you will see that this in-kind would not sufficient. That's the most important, that how you will, what kind of the common strategy among the consortium for this self-financing part. So this means that we have larger consortium, means that you will have complex revenue sharing model that you need to be set in place. It would be tricky to recruit partners, reliable partners. This is the most important thing. Reliable partners that may probably drop out later. Keep in mind, for example, in Estonia, the accreditation, academic accreditation would take, for example, 9 months. This is something that you need to keep in mind when you start. And the problem that you cannot start the process of academic accreditation if you do not have the program, which is a kind of sine qua non condition to provide. There is a need to be factored in project timelines. Keep in mind that after 2 or 3 years, you will have a high number of students, and that's why you need to already start from think about the sustainability. So how you will manage this financing part? Is it a central system, payment or payments, or each higher education institution? You need also to build and have on hand this network of industry certification partners. And would you mind switch next slide, please? So top tips for your proposal is to pick your focus area of technology, find expert partners in that field, build your consortium as soon as possible. You will see that time would fly. Create a project concept to share. Run workshops to discuss and define. It was really very tough for us. Keep it short and compelling. It should be not more than 70 pages. I think Basak was assessing on that. Last but not least, if I would say, if my wish, as even I'm also researched, I would see if I would have to have a proposal for this call, I would go for more trustworthy AI, this human-centric AI. This is my wish, where we have this lot of edge AI, lot of responsible AI, lot of democratic AI. And thank you very much, Jacob.
Thank you very, very much, Sadok, for this presentation and for all these useful tips. I think they were super clear and very useful for the participants. And then some of the participants also invited you to sign up for their project.
Yes, and if you go for the next slide, please, the last one, they can be my email address. They can be.
Very good. So,
in touch with me.
Dear participants, feel free to get in touch with Sadok if you want to learn more about what they did and how they succeeded. But all these tips are, I guess, very useful. Thank you very much. We have one more project coordinator. This time we will look at the south of France, because who is joining us now is Christelle Dupont-Ferriel from Aix-en-Provence University, so south of France. I hope you have a nice sunny day in the south of France, and you will talk about your master program that you also applied to the similar call last year. You were successful, you were selected, and we are very keen to hear about your experience and about your tips that you would like to share with the potential applicants for the current call.
Thank you, Jacob. So I present myself. So I'm Christelle Dupont-Ferrier. I'm from the International Relations Office of Aix-Marseille University, which is based at Aix-en-Provence, as you mentioned before. So I'm going to explain you a little bit about the project we submitted in February 2022. The name of the project is Advanced Digital Skill in Artificial Intelligence and Health. So, yeah, next slide. So, as you know, the proposal of Advanced Digital Skill call are either focusing on one or more technological area. For example, what was presented previously by SADOC, or you have the other possibility is to develop one interdisciplinary program with a specific focus on one sector. So it is the case of the project AI and Health that I'm going to briefly introduce now. So in this project, we initially started, as we do when we are preparing an Erasmus Mundus joint master degree, as the goal is putting forward excellence in EU master program in key capacity area, as well as international attractiveness and adequate measure of quality assurance and quality monitoring. We were fully in line with the approach of what we used to do before when we were preparing Erasmus Mundus joint master degree, except that we adjust the project according to the rule imposed by the call. And the rule makes the project more significantly enlarged to meet all the requirements under this call. So at the end, the project is very challenging with 6 different types of training. So you can see a joint master program, the designing of a joint master program with blending course and mobility for study between 4 higher education institutions, the double degree between 3 higher education institutions, hours of hand-on training to know how to use innovative technology. And we have MOOCs and also short course adapted to the expectation of professional and business in artificial intelligence. So we are not in this part, not in the initial training, but much more on the long life learning. So it's when we this part, I mean the short course adapted to professional and businesses in artificial intelligence is targeting the reskilling and upskilling of staff from private sector organization as well as the public sector. For example, the postdoctoral fellowship could also participate in this course. And we also comply with the obligation of conference to promote the possibility offered by the use of digital technology in AI applied for health. It's the last point, the conference for general public that should be recorded and released in the EU Digital Skill and Job Platform. So the maximum budget was mentioned here. So yes, now I'm going to explain a little bit about the consortium. So the Advanced Digital Skill Call is encouraging the cooperation between higher education institutions and research and business in digital area. So you have academic partner and research center. So Aix-Marseille University, it's much more the master, a new master AI and biomarkers. For Università di Pisa, it's OMIC, the biotechnology and applied artificial intelligence. For Stockholm University, the master, there are two masters. One master is much more focusing on computer and system science and health informatics for the second one. And for Universitat Autònoma de Barcelona, it's AI and big data in health. And we have also INRA. INRA is the research center that's going to provide short and customized courses for professionals because they're very familiar with this kind of training for professionals. We have partners, startups and SMEs that are beneficiaries of the consortium. So we have GenomeUp, a home-based health tech startup. We have Engineer, SMEs company based in Pisa, and Code, SMEs based in Pisa. Yes, it's much more Italian industrial partner in our consortium. And we also have associate partner. We have Roca Furadada. It's an SMEs based in Barcelona. And we have Troisia Côte d'Azur, in the University of Nice Côte d'Azur. We have University of Bucharest because Bucharest is one of the members of our European University alliances, CIVIS, and we also have Carol Davia University of Medicine and Pharmacy in Bucharest, because both of them are working also together, and this one is much more focusing in the medical field, and that's why we are very interested about the Center of Innovation and Health, e-health, that they are created inside their structure. What are the objectives that we are follow by submitting the application? So as I've mentioned before, the launch of a new master program for UNIP, and a new study track for Aix-Marseille University in 2023. For Stockholm University, it was much more strengthened the attractiveness of existing master program by offering a wider range of mobility opportunity. For INRIA, the SMEs and the startup, it's the development of short-term standard and customized courses for company and professional to increase the degree of integration between higher education and private sector involved in the use of digital technology. The three objectives are more benefit for all the members of the consortium. So it's the access to the latest state-of-the-art technology developing AI in research center and laboratory and testing facility, because as it was mentioned, we can we can buy equipment that are, and the project is taken in all the full cost of the purchase of the equipment. We also have the increased diversity among participants to the course and ensure the experts will be trained with appropriate skill for to adapt rapidly to the changing labor market. And we have, it's not the least, but the last I mentioned is the mix of public and private organization combining researcher, practitioner, and partner to accelerate take-up and mainstream of innovation in AI and health. Yes, so the tips for a successful application, I selected three. The first one is to set up a consortium by joining together specialists in line with the broad outline of the call. For example, in the call, it's written that we make a jointness also with the European Digital Innovation Hub. So we have one in the region South PACA, Provençal Côte d'Azur. It's moved to digital. We have also Erasmus, as it was mentioned previously, and Horizon Europe. So it's the first tip that could be stressed. The second one is select startup and SMEs that already experience participation in EU program. The choice of new private partner will imply to pay attention to the validation procedure of the PIC number, because need a validation to be fully considered as a beneficiary. And the third tip is this call help you to promote pilot initiative in teaching and learning at institutional level to support key European priority. Especially, I will mention the pack of skill of the European skill agenda, and also as a European University Alliances is launching European policy experimentation of European degree level. So it's important to know exactly what are preparing in this side and see if you can implement some result from this. Next slide, please. So now is the question, and at the last slide is the email address if you want to contact us at Aix-Marseille University. Thank you.
Thank thank you very, very much for sharing also your story and your experience. I think participants who would like to get in touch with you now have the opportunity to copy the email address and to maybe learn from you a little bit more. As I said at the beginning, all these presentations will be available on the Digital Skills and Jobs platform, and we will also publish the recording on the YouTube channel in the next few days. So Christel, thank you very much for sharing this expertise. We have one more presentation before us before we go to the pitches. So we have, as you know, we have 11 organizations that will pitch and that will do a little bit what you are doing in the chat, so that where you present yourselves and when you say where you are from and that you are available for a consortium. So we will have that very soon. But before that, I would just like to welcome my colleague from DG Connect European Commission, who will talk about blockchain service infrastructure. Because as you remember, Silvia mentioned it in one of her slides, that one of the objectives is to also support digital solution, equipment and infrastructure for the universities to purchase or lease to ensure that the program has the necessary facilities to deliver excellence. And this presentation that we will now see, that will be given by Luben Kabakchev from DG Connect, will be exactly about the infrastructure, an example of a verification infrastructure powered by blockchain. So Luben, I don't know whether we have you. I don't see you yet on the screen.
Yes,
very good.
I'm here indeed.
Very good.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So please, the floor is yours, and we look very much forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, Jakub, and good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today. So as Jakub said, I will present to you the European Blockchain Services Infrastructure, and specifically the verifiable credentials model that we have enabled on EPSI. So we at DG Connect are the unit which is working together with the European Blockchain Partnership, which consists of all 27 EU member states, Norway, Liechtenstein, and also more recently, Ukraine as observer. And I would like to, before diving into the verifiable credentials model and what it means for the diploma use case that we have, I just want to explain a bit briefly what the European Blockchain Services Infrastructure actually is. So the idea is that with EPSI, we will enable cross-border public services. This will be based on peer-to-peer network of distributed nodes across Europe. This will be the underlying infrastructure, which will itself support applications focused on selected and various use cases, educational credentials being among them. Each member of the network will, mandated by the European Blockchain Partnership, host nodes in this network at the national level. So every node will be able to create and broadcast transactions that will update the distributed ledger. And every node will essentially maintain an identical copy of the ledger and of the blockchain. So this is the added value here, the distributed nature of it. And on top of this, as I said, one of the use cases that we run on this infrastructure is the diploma use case or verifiable credentials use case, which in a nutshell, as you can see here, is very briefly said, it makes information easy to verify and almost impossible to fake. So indeed, when documents and information are shared online, it is still very challenging to verify that the information is authentic. And with EPSI and with this verifiable credential model, which can also be replicated in other areas beyond diplomas. But for the purposes of diplomas, in this case, this is something that would reduce the time and cost of verification and overall enhance the trust in the process. So as you can see here, this is a description of the verifiable credentials model. At the center of it, we have the holder, which in this case would be the citizen or the student who is holding, who is using his own wallet on his mobile phone to essentially get or request his diploma or his verifiable credentials from the institution. So in this case, the university. The university is issuing these verifiable credentials, so the diploma, in a specific format, which is linked to this individual, the student. The student can then present these verifiable credentials that attest his credentials, his diploma. He can then present them to a university or a potential employer in his job search, for example. And then this employer or the university can verify that the issuer of this diploma is fully entitled to do so. So they use basically the European Blockchain Services Infrastructure blockchain ledger as a reference point. So all that is recorded on this ledger is this legal entity identifier of the institution, which is accredited to do so. And I'll spare you the details, so I think we can move to the other slide. Yes. So here, what you will find on this slide is essentially a series of publications that will walk you through the technologies that make it possible for public administrations and businesses to easily verify and trust information received directly from citizens or businesses. So this is information that you can find on our website, and you will see all the links at the very last slides. So I invite you to consult them to read them. Here you can also see this is also available on our website. This is success stories. So we're currently piloting this use case, but it's now ready for adoption, and we actually plan to go into production with the EPSI very soon. Up until now, we have been piloting various use cases, including this one. And here you can see all these success stories, which you can read up more on our website. Next slide, this just briefly outlining how interested entities can join the HaDEA ecosystem. And I would like to invite all of you to consult the website and also to get involved and join what we call also the early adopter program, where anyone can get involved in the pilot network and test applications. So here, anyone who is a trusted accreditation organization, so national authority, can join. Students and holders can join the group as beta users. Issuers such as universities or professional associations can also join. Employers as verifiers can also join. And finally, wallet providers, which are essentially IT service providers, can also turn their wallet into an EPSI conformant wallet to participate in the EPSI network. So this is just to give you an idea of how the EPSI is structured. I won't go into the details, but it's essentially describing the different layers we have, starting with the nodes, the ledger itself, and then the use cases that are built on top of the verifiable credential model that we use that can be replicated. But I'll leave it at that. Feel free to have a look in more detail if you're interested. And then again, here I will just invite you to get involved. Check on our website, different links here that we have that you can see on the slide afterwards to find out more, get involved, join the EPSI ecosystem, the early adopters program, or generally speaking, if you have any other questions, feel free also to reach out to us directly. We will be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Ruben, thank you very much. There is one question in the chat that I will quickly pick up for you from Gabrielle. Is it possible to access the EBSI pilot API for research groups without waiting to be included in the early adopters program?
So I think for the pilot environment specifically, this will need to be done through the early adopters program. Once we go into production, it would be, there will be a different process. But for now, for the time being, it is through the early adopters program. But if you have any questions about how to actually join this, feel free to reach out by email. Happy to look into it and help you.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your presentation. I hope it was also inspiring for the participants. I will now turn back to Silvia because we have selected one more question that many of you were asking during the first presentations, and we believe that we should reply to that still within the live session. So Silvia, coming back to you for the last time for the question. The question is, should the studies funded via this program be for free, and how can the students be supported?
Thank you, Jakub. So the call doesn't prescribe that the studies need to be for free. However, an important component of the financing is financial support to third parties, which means that up to 20% of the grant, which means that if you go for the full amount, it's up to 2 million, can be used for scholarships. So this is up how to distribute them, who's eligible, how to allocate them. It's up to the consortium and it's up to the universities registering the student and enrolling the students. But this is a big opportunity, and it's in line with the fact that we want these opportunities, high quality opportunities, to be available to everyone.
Just a follow-up question on that. Is there any advantage if the consortium says that the studies will be for free in the let's say awarding or assessment evaluation of the process? So is it better for the consortium to focus on free studies, or that does not play a role?
So having a free study does not give extra point in the evaluation, but what will be evaluated is for sure the impact of the course and the project, and the impact of course takes into account how many students will be supported and how many students will be reached by these training and education opportunities.
Excellent. Silvia, thank you very much for this clarification. As we are a little bit running out of time, we will move immediately to the last part of today's session. But before that, maybe Alessandra, if you can show us again, if you have it somewhere, if not, then it's okay, the results of the Mentimeter, where we have asked who we have in the room, just to give an idea of who is and who was here during the day. Because what we will be now moving to is really to this section where we will try to help you find partners and to help you find consortia. And I think the results of that poll, if I remember correctly, was that we had maybe 70% or even more of participants here being universities, which is very good because we are talking about the master program, bachelor programs. But we, of course, you can go to the next slide. Yeah, that's it here. So we had 97 out of 175. So it's around 60% of people here in the room representing universities and higher institutions. There are also some training providers. There are also some businesses and industry representatives, few excellent research centers, some network associations and digital innovation hubs, and there are also others. So you see that in this room, you have all the ingredients that you need to form a consortia. So I know that you all have been already pitching in the chat, and you have been presenting your projects or your activities, your initiatives, your organizations. We have asked in the registration to potential participants to this event to signal if they wanted to pitch. And some of them did, and we have made a list of 11 pitchers whom we have invited. Due to time constraints, we could not invite everyone, but we really selected those that applied as first ones, and we will now present them to you. Now, there are some strict rules to follow, and this is especially for the pitchers, but also for you as participants. So the most important rule that the pitch cannot be longer than 3 minutes, and I will be very strict with that. I will be keeping the time here on my phone. So whenever you have 30 seconds left, I will let you know, and then at 3 minutes we will really be need to catch you, because we want these pitches to be to the point, to show what your organization or institution can bring to a potential consortia, what your ideas about the potential future project are. So I hope we are already and excited to go through this last half an hour of today's meeting of speed pitching, 3 minutes each, 2 slides maximum. Feel free to comment in the chat, but there will be no questions to the pitchers. And with that, I will invite the first one, who is the Digital Innovation Hub Slovenia, Anna Page. And Anna, the floor is yours, and I'm starting the clock now.
Hello, I'm Anna Hello from Ljubljana. I will just start. First, just a little words about Digital Innovation Hub Slovenia. We are also part of Slovenia EDIH called DKC and part of Digital Skills and Jobs project through the Slovenian Digital Coalition. We are enable digital transformation in the principle all in one place basis in Slovenia and beyond. We are raising awareness and provide services for the growth of digital competences, but we mainly work with SMEs. I think that's also very important because we see what are the demands. I will talk about three things that are very important, I think would add value to the project if you decide to incorporate in it. This is already developing a competence model forecasting the need for digital profiles in an organization, which covers steps ranging from taking stock of the state of digital profiles and competences in an organization to forecasting the need in defining gaps between demand and supply. So we also every year do research and the review of existing study programs related to education of digital profiles. We are doing that for programs in Slovenia and abroad. Last year, we did 946 study programs and we analyzed those. We divided them in three areas. Digital profiles, so purely digital profiles, profiles supporting digital, that are supporting digital profiles, and non-digital profiles. So it's a really big range that we take to consideration. And the third thing is, that's also very interesting. We are also having a tool currently under development, which is for the assessment of skills and competences that we are currently developing methodology for 7 profiles. And the profiles are CEO, CDO, head of HR, head of commercials, production manager, product manager, and project manager. It's important because we can see where is the biggest gap and prepare for programs according to the result. So that was very quick from my side because we have only 3 minutes and I didn't want to be long. If you have any question, there is also my email and you can contact me.
Anna, thank you very much. You respected the time limit. I very much appreciate it. We go to the next slide and to the next pitch, which is coming from Italy. It's Neurosubianco, Andrea Gesseter, representative of this SME. So Andrea, the floor is yours and I'm starting the 3-minute counter.
Great, thank you very much. Good morning. Yes, I'm one of the owners of Neurosubianco. Basically, what we do, we support companies around Europe when they do the digital investment and digital transformation projects. And this is indeed where we, on a daily basis, identify digital skill gaps. So if you move to the next slide, based on our daily experience, what we would like to share are mainly 2 pillars or 2 things. The first one is an available visual map of training organizations around Europe. There are roughly 120 with 270 already digital training programs focused in very specialized and high-level digital technologies. The reason why we started it and we developed it in under an Erasmus Plus project is that we identified over the last 4 and 5 years that when it comes in SMEs to go to the right skills, not all training organizations have what companies expect to. And with this map, which is only a matching system, we wanted to connect available training programs and organizations and support them in further enriching their training offer. So this is something that maybe eventually could be embedded in a new proposal, also as a dissemination and exploitation tool, or eventually enriched with a new curricula. What we can add on top of it is basically the need analysis capacity that we develop, basically on being daily on-site in SMEs and trying to understand what their needs are when they look for training programs. The second thing is eventually to support in reviewing the curricula, as we reach out to SMEs all around Europe, and we may use under square brackets enterprises, to do a sort of peer review of what the project is delivering. And then eventually as a last piece to connect these new courses to synergic training programs around there. I mean, in the catalog, as I mentioned, there might be something which is maybe not covered by the project or by the new program, and these new connections may be eventually a sort of add-on to the project itself. And that's it. So anyone who is interested can reach me via email or any other means. Thank you very much.
Andrea, thank you as well, and also thanks for respecting the time limit. Really appreciate it. We move to another picture, another organization that is a youth NGO from Romania. The name is Danube.edu, and I hope that we have here with us Daria Catalui, who will present that project. So Daria, the floor is yours, and I'm starting the counter.
Hello, Jakub. Hello, everybody. I hope you hear me well. I'm very happy to be in this call with you, all of you, and have the opportunity to present something which it's very dear to my heart. So I'm a cybersecurity education professional, and now in the call I'm representing, I have the hat of the NGO Danube, which was founded more than 10 years ago in my home country, Romania. So basically, there is a need of more digital skills, as we know. But what about cyber skills? So if you go to the next one, I think that the pitch here that I have for you is the fact that, from my point of view and my experience, we have a lot more work to do on the how do we get to the audience, the students? And I think my proposal would be to use more gamified learning for cybersecurity skills from the basic part, medium or advanced. Even the cyber responders enjoy quite a lot, a very good cyber exercise, I believe, and there is data for that. So what we developed with the youth NGO is, of course, courses for the basic level to introduce students in the Danube region, but also a cyber lab for advanced programs like a master degree or a bachelor degree, which could also be modular and could have experts for 2 full days. And I also added on this slide a tool which I'm also using, and I think it's quite useful to have a look on this website and see what kind of game transmitting learning to with the gamified approach. Having said that, I think that this gamified lab and cyber lab, as I title it, could participate in many projects and could give a very good result and could create impact. So I will leave it with you, and thank you very much again.
Daria, thank you very much for this presentation of the gamified project. Thank you, and take care. Thank you. We go to Berlin this time to see the Code Academy Berlin. Jost Lepere, who is the coordinator or the person who will tell us now about the Code Academy in Berlin and what they could bring to a potential consortia. So Jost, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much for the invite and for being here. My name is Jost Lepere. I'm representing Code Academy Berlin. We are a training provider in Berlin, and currently we have courses in data science and web development. Plus, we will extend our syllabus to cybersecurity at the moment. We do have 180 students per year. It's all project-based, Scrum, following the Agile Scrum methodology, and we provide additional career coaching, which is aggregated with the Erasmus Plus program. Our goal, obviously, is helping the students to find a job afterwards. So we have like an 89% hiring rate within the first 3 months after graduation. Thank you very much. What we are looking for is basically creating a scholarship for practical training in the key capacity areas, which could be integrated in master and bachelor systems. And we would help build the students a project portfolio that they can use for applying after the graduation. And further implementation that we can bring is career coaching, language classes that could be implemented, and additional mentoring. We are especially targeting underrepresented groups which lack the access to the training. And what we are looking for in a partner is basically content creators that could help us extend our syllabus. We do have a learning platform which we can bring on the table, but we are happy to discuss here. And of course, duration, hybrid, on-site, online, everything is really adjustable from our side. So yeah, what we basically offer is partnering up with the university to provide the specialized training for your students, and small and medium enterprises as hiring partners would be very interesting for us as well. So I'm really looking forward to meet you all. Please feel free to reach out anytime. On the last note, our team is already from all over Europe, so we have staff members from Italy. Yeah, Italy, Spain, France, Ireland. So basically, language barriers not existing. And thank you very much, and looking forward to hearing from you.
Yes, thank you very much also for this pitch, and greetings to Berlin.
Thank you.
Sorry. Now, thank you very much. Now we are going even more to the north. We are moving to Finland, to the University of Oulu, when we have Minna Iso-Murso, who will talk about what the University of Oulu can bring to a potential consortia. So Minna, thank you for being with us, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jakob. So my name is Minna Iso-Murso, and when you email me, note that my last letter is U, not O, like in the program. So I'm from the University of Oulu, and we are proposing to coordinate. So we are looking for partners into a consortium which would focus on digital skills in health. And you can go to the next slide. So University of Oulu is a multi-faculty university. So we are proposing a collaboration between the information and communication technologies and medicine and health. So we are proposing a project where we train healthcare professionals who have advanced skills in IT, in key capacity areas like AI, IoT, and cybersecurity. And you can go to the next slide. Thank you. So our target group, we are targeting this interdisciplinary programs, and target group is non-IT field, which is healthcare professionals in our case. We are covering in Oulu both bachelors and masters, so we do both. And the partners could, of course, like choose what they would want to focus. And we focus on key capacity areas like data, IoT, and AI. So the curriculum would be a seamless collaboration between medical, like medical imaging, biosignal analysis, nursing sciences, and ICT, like AI. We have links with the EDIs. University of Oulu is in digital health EDI in Finland, and we are also the core of the consortium is based on unique European university. And we are especially looking for partners from research centers and SMEs. And you can see my email here in this slide. So if you want to work on health, please contact me. Thank you.
Minna, thank you very much, and thank you for this clear presentation. We go now to see Ireland, concretely Skillnet Ireland, and Valerie Rousselin-Somerville, who is from the Skillnet Ireland, that is also the member of the National Coalition in Ireland. So Valerie, I hope you can hear us, you can see us. The presentation is ready, so as soon as we see you as well on the camera, then you could go. Not sure whether this is the case. Alessandra, maybe check if Valerie has all the rights that she needs. Valerie, you would need to switch on your microphone and switch on your camera. Alessandra, can you check whether Valerie has the possibility to switch on the camera and the microphone? As she cannot do that, she's saying in the chat that it's disabled, unfortunately. So we will need to please figure it out. if not, then we could maybe, Valerie, I would suggest, can you disconnect and then reconnect again? We give you the rights and we will do your presentation afterwards. Yeah, thank you very much. So we move to another presentation, to another page. I hope this one will work well now. It's from Grigore Stamatescu from Romania, and he works at the University Polytechnica of Bucharest. I see, Grigore, that you are ready. I think we can also hear you. So yes, so hello. Thank you very much for joining us. You can go ahead and start your presentation.
It will be quite brief. It's a pleasure to present here today. I represent the University Polytechnic of Bucharest. It is the largest and most important technical university from Romania, with a history of around 200 years. And we have around 30,000 plus students in 15 faculties that cover most technical subjects. More specifically, I'm affiliated with the Faculty of Automatic Control and Computers. And here we have the Department of Automation and Industrial Informatics that would be interested to participate in this call to expand our study offerings and new collaborations that can also stimulate our internationalization strategy. This is the general aspects. More specifically, would be the next slide. We are considering joining a partnership that focuses on Industry 5.0. I think many of the attendees here are familiar with the Industry 4.0 concepts that assume industry digitalization and various new technologies applied to improving industry performance. One of the key areas that the European Commission defines in the industry area for research is this Industry 5.0, so the next generation of evolution, which focuses on sustainability, on human aspects, and on resilience, which is even more important in this period. So what we would like to do is, first of all, build a proper academic program, a master program in this area with the European collaborators, improve laboratory facilities and staff training in this area, and also provide a complementary post-secondary graduate study program for upskilling and reskilling of industry professionals that can complement this program. So like a full version and the light version. And for that, we can bring our expertise. We can also involve local SMEs and NGOs, and we would be delighted to find the collaborators in this area. Thank you very much.
Grigore, thank you very much for this presentation from Bucharest. And we continue on the list now. We have Enrico Frumento from Cefriel, which is a research and excellence center in Italy. So Enrico, I hope you can hear us. We see you, so you can just unmute yourself if you can. And I'm happy to give you the floor to present Cefriel, a research and excellence center from Italy. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. So actually, Cefriel is an innovation and research center that arises from a spin-off of the Polytechnic of Milan about 30 years ago. And the mission was to bridge the research instances from the academia to the innovation instances of companies, small, medium enterprises, and in general, the market. And this has been done on three main pillars. The one is innovation, so transferring the research instances on the innovation needs. The second is training for workers, for students. For a long time, we had a second level degree masters, and today we are offering a wide range of training opportunities for workers, for people already employed, for skilling efforts, and so on. Actually, we are a relatively big innovation center, and we created a few years ago the ECF, the European Competence Framework Profile E8 on information security management. For this reason, I am also mainly concentrating around training on cybersecurity. We participated already in different calls with one recently won in the past digital skills that was focused on sustainable training for small medium enterprises on cybersecurity. And you can go to this other slide. We are also a small medium enterprise, but at the same time, we are also an RTO. So we are a no-profit research center. Actually, the education tracks we are offering cover more than 1,000 trained professionals on different topics. We are also, for example, a certified project management center. We are, of course, on data science, design, cybersecurity as well, and so on. You can move to the following slide. Yeah. About this school specifically, we of course concentrate on IT specialists because the center is a center that has many, let's say, focuses on IT competences from networking up to design of services in general. For the convention programs, this is also interesting for non-IT specialists, offering the possibility to acquire, for example, cybersecurity competencies or other specialistic IT competences as well. We have different first level master's degree already.
30 seconds, sorry.
Yeah, on the chart. For the call, of course, as it becomes evident for my presentation, we are searching for possible partnerships. We are not yet in the stage of thinking to coordinate or proposing one single proposal, but anyway, I wanted to, let's say, present our competences in general, and that's all.
Enrico, thank you very much, and I'm sorry for the mispronunciation of the, of your center.
It's a difficult name, yeah.
Jeffriel, sorry.
Yeah,
but I will make better next time. Okay, thank you very much. Now I understand that Valerie from the ICT SkillNet, from the SkillNet Ireland is already with us and ready with the camera. So Valerie, thank you and sorry for these technical issues, but now you can very well present what you do and also how you would contribute to a potential consortia. So please go ahead.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Jakob. This is a really great opportunity to introduce SkillNet Ireland to this wide audience. So just a bit of background in this first slide. SkillNet Ireland is a business support agency of the Government of Ireland. The focus of SkillNet Ireland is to drive Ireland and consequently the EU's competitiveness through talent development and skill development. So we're a private company, non-profit. So we would be coming into consortia as an SME. What is really central to the SkillNet model is that we work with more than 70 networks that are either region-specific or sector-specific. They bring together companies within these networks that identify the skills needs and then work together to drive skills programs and talent development programs in close partnership with universities and education providers. So you can see that it's really the triple helix approach very strongly implemented. And it enables a very strong reach across all these sectors that are crucial for the economy and working with a very, very large number of companies, multinationals in Ireland, but as well a very, very large number of companies of SMEs, because the Irish economy is really built on SMEs. It's a joint investment approach where you have funding from the Irish government that's subsidized trainings, and then companies bring their match funding to that. So it's really a joint owned and joint designed approach. And it's really recognized. I put the OECD logo down there because the OECD recognized this approach as the best practice. And even in reports from the European Commission, DG Internal Market has recognized as well as a good example in terms of smart industrial and specialization and digital transformation, this approach. Now, the second slide is really focused on SkillNet Ireland's programs in the digital space. Digital transformation is a very strong area of focus for our strategy in SkillNet Ireland, and we have a number of SkillNet networks. So you mentioned ICT SkillNet that are really focused on that sector and offer a very wide range of programs, as you can see, with masters in artificial intelligence and fintech innovation, etc. And we are also accelerating the digital digital transformation within sectors such as retail, such as advanced manufacturing, with our networks that are focused on these specific sectors. So now when it comes to EU projects, we are implementing projects within the digital program with SADC, for example, and Taltech. But now we're looking for this next call at digital health. So I'll be in touch with you, Minna, as well as cybersecurity, and we'd be interested in being part of consortias as well as natural language programming. Sorry, so we wouldn't be leading, but we would be part of consortia. So please be in touch. I'll share my my email address right away in the chat. Thanks a lot.
Valerie, thank you very much for this presentation, and we can continue. And now we go to Spain because we will hear from Patricia Jimenez Barcelo about NTT data. So Patricia, if you are with us, you can switch on your camera, your microphone. Very happy to have you, and your 3 minutes start now.
Hello, good morning. Thank you very much for having me today. My name is Patricia Jimenez, and I work for NTT Data. We are a large IT company operating in 25 countries and with more than 46,000 professionals. And we are part of a bigger group called NTT Group. At NTT Data, we are very interested in talent attraction. So that's why we have put in place several initiatives related to digital skills. You have here some examples. Girls Gonna is focused on teaching programming to boys and girls to reduce gender stereotypes in science and technology. We have also developed vocational education programs focused on AI and big data. And we have this platform clock that you can see on the screen that helps kids to learn by using creative technologies. At NTT Data, we have also a foundation where we implement projects to encourage education, research, innovation, and entrepreneurship across society. So these initiatives I'm showing to you is just to show how we promote digital skills, to give you some references. And in the next slide, what I want to show you, next slide, please, is what we actually can do under the framework of this topic. As a business active in the domain, we can help in the design of the courses to universities. Thanks to our IT experts that are experts in the domain that are mentioned in the topic. We have also excellence centers across Europe, and as industry, we could bring the awareness of the demands of the market. We can also provide mentoring, evaluation and implementation of trainings, employment plans development, and since we have a corporate university, we can support as well in the creation of courses and trainings content that is according to the needs of the industry. We have worked before with public administration in the issue of vocational education diplomas. So, and one thing that I didn't include in the slide, but I want to mention is that we are also part of the EPSI initiative that was presented before, and we are behind some of the success stories that were mentioned before. We are part of a European Digital Innovation Hub, and we have an initiative dedicated to low coding. So I believe we can be a good partner in a consortium. So please drop me an email. You have in the presentation my email, and I will be happy to have a meeting with you and start collaboration. Thank you very much.
Patricia, thank you very much, and thank you for exactly sticking to the time limit. Very much appreciated. We have 2 last pitches ahead of us, so if you still want to contact, between yourselves, you can still use the chat, and you can listen to the last 2 pitches, and then ideally get in touch. So the next one is Pertti Berg, who is from Finland, and he will talk about their organization EduHouse. So Pertti, I see that you are ready, so you can go ahead now.
Hello everyone, and thank you for the opportunity. So what I'm here to talk about is our learning as a service model, which is what we've been building up for the couple of years to answer the call of upskilling companies and upskilling everyone who's working with IT. Now, we already work in 3 countries. We work in Finland, Sweden, and Norway. And this model is in all of 3 countries now available. So what is learning as a service? First of all, we believe that upskilling is not for the few, it has to be for everyone. So the whole organization is always our customer, and the service needs to be available for everyone. Now, in our service, we have microlearning video content, which is we call it online learning. And this is in unlimited use for everyone, as well as our digital live training sessions. So we have a couple of 100 training sessions per country per year, and we deliver those to all of the users in an unlimited way. They can be used as much as possible. Not tied to any time or place, we're fully digital, and the service is always localized. So in Sweden, it's Swedish, in Norway, it's Norwegian, and so forth. Now, learning as a lifestyle is what we talk about. We have 3 profiles created. The troubleshooter is the one who needs to figure out a question throughout their daily lives. The upskiller is, of course, the one who needs to learn a new skill within work time. And then we have the student. And for all of these, we have already ready-made systems and modules to learn the individual videos, the online courses for the upskillers, and a learning coached path for aiming at a certification for the students. And this is our offering. Here we are searching for partners to go even the longer distance to all other countries in the EU.
Ferdi, thank you very much for your slides and for this presentation. And as I said, we have just last pitch ahead of us. We are coming back to Italy. We'll be hearing from Giacomo Petrini, who comes from, and now I will really try my Italian, Consorzio Universitario in Ingegneria per la Qualità e l'Innovazione, which in French, I guess, sorry, in English, you will translate it, I think, yourself. So, okay. Giacomo, thank you very much for having you, and your last pitch can start now.
First of all, thank you for this opportunity. I'm Giacomo Petrini. I'm a responsible there at Queen, dedicated to the higher education. Queen is a non-profit university consortium. I'm here as a representative of an established network of organizations, mostly composed by University of Pisa and the National Research Council of Italy, to propose this idea of International University Master Agri-Tech dedicated to the digital agriculture for sustainable development. Okay, well, the basic idea is to start from the experience of our partnership that we summarized it in some, name of our project called Desidera, but also the postgraduate course Agri-Tech, because we want to carry out this training experience to train technological solution for digital agriculture. Okay, always with a responsible innovation approach. So the basic idea is to organize 3 editions of this, at least 3 editions. We are open to collaboration in a large number of countries in Europe of this master, based on a collaborative learning methodology. Okay, what's the content? Okay, we put some imaging to summarize the idea. The basic idea is to support the digital transition of agri-food enterprises, teaching and developing their know-how on IoT, data management, sensing, analytics, artificial intelligence, and digital mapping. Okay, so the basic idea to improve their know-how of digital transition to train specialists to do this job. If you go in the next slide, we can take a look at the mix of methodology that we would like to implement in this training experience. A blended approach, clearly, so academic and specialist lecture, testimonial, farm visit, tutoring, but also experimentation in farm. Always a blended approach. That means in presence teaching, distance using always the IT platform, but also e-learning to give a modular approach to this training experience. The basic, as I said at the beginning of my presentation, is an established work-class partnership. Okay, the leader is the University of Pisa, especially 3 departments: agriculture, food, agri-environmental science, computer science, information engineering.
30 seconds.
Okay, perfect. Then the National Research Council and Queen has a 30-year experience organizing a master, international master. So we are open for collaboration. In the bottom part of the slide, our reference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Giacomo. Thank you very much for this presentation, and big thanks to all the organizations and companies that pitched their project. So this is the end. This is the wrap up of today's event, and I would like to maybe share some last minute or let's say wrap up remarks. So what to do next in your when you work on your proposals. So here are some remarks that I wanted to share. First of all, read all the documents very carefully. We have posted the links to the funding and tendering portal several times in the chat, and that's super important to go there, get familiar with the portal, and also get familiar with the call text that is also there. You have already started to work on the second bullet point and second recommendation, which is to start building your consortium. Many of you have done it in the chat, and congratulations. If you have found some potential partners today, you can still continue doing it by joining the networking group Partner for Digital Skills on the Digital Skills and Jobs platform. And I would like to invite my colleagues still to paste one last time the link to this group to the chat, so you can easily go there, sign up, and that's where you will find like-minded organizations, like-minded companies, where you can also search through the membership directory, and you can contact them directly through direct messaging and really figure out who can be the ideal partner for your consortium. Don't forget that the deadline of this call is 24th of January 2023. All the information will be available on the Digital Skills and Jobs platform, and also don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Last but not least, as I said at the beginning, we have collected all the questions that you pasted in the chat. What we will now do with them, we will group them, and we will start publishing them in a few days on the funding and tendering portal in the FAQs. You will get all the presentations from today available on the Digital Skills and Jobs platform in the next hours, maximum days. And we will also publish the recording of this webinar, of this info day, so that you can watch again on any presentation that you found useful, especially I think the one by Basak, who really guided us through the funding and tendering portal will be, I guess, very useful for you when you start actually submitting your application. So thank you very much to all. Good luck with your proposals. We hope that we will see many of the proposals in January that will come also from you as participants to this info day. We are really grateful that you have been with us. Again, good luck with all your proposals and with forming the consortia. Thank you very much. Goodbye and have a nice day.